Hello and welcome to the Homeversity podcast brought to you by Residential Equity Partners. My name is Michael Ashley. I'm the founder of Residential Equity Partners, and I'm joined here today by Stephen Cavalcanti. He's one of our managing members.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thrilled to be with you, Michael.
I'm thrilled to be with you, too. We're with each other every day, though. Let's not act like we're not together every day. But you know what? At the end of the day, Stephen, it's like, I think about it, what a journey. It's been 11 years since I founded this business.
Yep.
We've done more than $1 billion in transactions. And it's like, I look at it and I'm like, 2,600 families we've been able to help over the time period.
Some gray hair.
A lot of gray. Not you, though. For some reason, I have all the gray hair. I don't know why that is. But it's been quite the journey. And you know what? Like, I think this podcast is really, really important because there are a lot of people who are going to be listening to this who are getting ready to make a decision that's life-changing.
Absolutely.
You know, you agree?
Yo, absolutely.
I mean, we talk to these people all the time. We talk to people who are facing foreclosure, people who have recently inherited a property. You know, I talk to people who recently inherited a property, and I say, you know what? Your mom and your pop, they worked hard for that inheritance for you.
Absolutely. The American dream.
You need to maximize that inheritance, and people go about things like the traditional way, like the regular way. And I say, why would you do that when we can get you so much more money for your inheritance? Or I talk to people who are in foreclosure who are thinking, I'm giving up. Literally, they're giving up, and I'm thinking, why? Why are you giving up? And I realize there's not enough information out there.
Yeah.
There's just not enough information. And we were kind of talking behind the scenes, and that's part of the biggest problem is that I think there's not enough information made available to people who need it.
Yep.
And the information that's out there, there's so much information and there's so much I hate to use this term, but it's true. There's so much misinformation and, quote, fake news when it comes to this because you have so many people out there who just they're in it for themselves. And you know what? Look, we've got a great business. We're in it to make money just like everybody else is. But at the end of the day, we're A+ rated for a reason with the Better Business Bureau. You're talking about a company that, I mean, like, I think about it. We've got 500 reviews and 0 complaints. You know how hard that is? I dare any company in any industry to have 500 Better Business Bureau reviews. Better Business Bureau, not Google. Anybody could do Google. Better Business Bureau, completely 100% verified, 500 reviews and 0 complaints.
And I take that serious, you know, and I take a lot of pride in that because when you actually read these reviews, you can really visualize the stories from these clients, and the results are life-changing to them. You know, we're not dealing with somebody who's selling a pair of shoes or making a decision about life insurance. You know, we're dealing with somebody who's losing their property, who's making one of the most important financial decisions that they are going to be making in their life at the time.
Right. But the thing is, maybe they're not losing their property. Maybe they think they're losing their property. You know, so I think the name of the game here is we've got to get the right information to the right people at the right time because what we have to offer is critical compared to kind of what's out there.
So, Michael, I have to ask you, I think you created a concept that is brilliant. And as the entrepreneur that you are, I'm not surprised. I'd like you to kind of elaborate on how awesome Max Out is, because everybody I speak to, including my parents, who are not easy to please, mind you, are blown away by the concept and how effective it could be for homeowners that are interested in selling their house. So talk to us about Max Out.
Well, the thing about it is there's a segment of homeowners who want to sell their house for cash. For whatever reason. It could be the condition of the house. It could be the speed.
Yep.
It could be whatever the reason is. They want to be able to sell their house for cash. So for me, everywhere you go, you see, we buy houses all cash.
Oh my gosh! I want to take those
telephone
signs
poles,
and throw them
it's on the thing.
in my fireplace.
You got some people advertising on TV saying they're handsome.
Stand
you got all these different things about people who are looking, to buy houses all cash.
Mia.
So I thought to myself, one of the things about us, as you know, we're very well financed. We fund a lot of these deals. And so I get a lot of people coming to me all the time saying, Mike, I got a homeowner who wants to sell a house. Can I partner with you on it? Yeah. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm partnering with a lot of people on this. Maybe it's time I partner with the homeowner.
And turn it into something.
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe it's time I partner with the homeowner. So I created this max out concept. Sell your house once, get paid twice. And people are like, well, what does that mean? And I thought to myself, you know what? This would be a great idea. Why not go to a homeowner or an heir who inherited a property and say, okay, look, I can give you what this property is worth in its current condition. And most of these properties are in poor condition, or sometimes they're in great condition, and I can expand on it. I can make it into a 2-family. Right. I can make it into an 8-family if it's in Brooklyn. It's a development opportunity. Right. Who knows what it is? Or I could dormer it. So it's my real estate strategy. So I thought to myself, what if I could go to these people and say, look, I will pay you cash right now based on these 3 comps. Here's 3 houses in your neighborhood that sold that are exactly the same as yours, same condition.
So they'll get the as-is value.
I will give you that value right now. No real estate broker, no commission, no nothing. And then I want you to know I'm going to make money. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make money on it. And here's what I'm going to do. My real estate strategy is going to be to put a dormer on this house and gut renovate it. And I'm going to sell this for a profit. But here's where the catch comes in. I'm going to pay you right now for the house, and when I resell the house, whatever I make, I'm going to give you 25% of my profit.
Amazing.
Right? So instead of paying a percentage of my profit to people who are bringing me houses, which fine, if somebody wants to bring us a house, we're happy to partner. I'm making the homeowner the partner in our profit. So people inherit a house. The house is usually older and not in great condition. The housing stock in general, right, is like 75 to 100 years old in New York State. So we go in, we buy the house for what it's worth, save them the real estate commission, no hassle. Literally, we close within 24 hours when we get the title.
That's phenomenal. Can I just make one point?
Go.
What I think is great about this is that, the average homeowner, first of all, everybody and their mother wants to be a real estate investor these days. Oh, yeah. But very few people actually have the resources and the know-how to make it happen, right? It's not like HGTV where, within 3 days the house is done.
Right.
What I think is so brilliant about this is that you can leverage off of the resources and the contractors and the connections so that you could take advantage and participate in the real estate investment upside, and you don't have to do anything.
That's exactly right. In other words, you get to sell your house once and get paid twice. Right now, instead of going through open houses, for sale signs, walkthroughs, inspections, fix this, fix that. It's like, no. I'm going to give you a check. Here it is. This is what your house is worth. Okay? And then here's my plan for the future. And here's how I'm going to make money. I'm not shy. You want me to make as much as I can. Absolutely. Not by paying you low, but by having a good real estate strategy to bring it up high. And so I'm going to do that. And once I do that, and I resell the house, I'm going to make a profit like I'm entitled to it. Wow. But 25% of that profit is going to go back to the homeowner. People love this program. The problem is not enough people know about it. And so the way we start is we say, look, you call, we do a max out evaluation. I look at the house and I figure out, how do I max this house out? Right. Is it just a simple renovation? Is it putting on a second story? Is it building? I mean, look, take a ride through Levittown. Every house went from a little Levitt that was like a $300,000 house to $1,200,000 mansion. You're
seeing it all over
in
Long
Levittown.
Island.
You're seeing it in Hicksville. Oh yeah, you're seeing it all over the place. And especially with zoning laws and things changing, sometimes you think your house is only worth something when it's worth more. But it's only worth more with investment and the work that has to be put into it. There is no catch. Yeah, so Yvette, like I said, I'm so happy to see you. I mean, I know you're in sunny, beautiful Florida, soaking in the sunshine. I'm in rainy, cold New York, loving every minute of being indoors.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry about that. Hey, maybe you guys Yvette, could consider coming out.
I know,
Not a bad
should.
idea.
I got to speak to Mindy about it. For sure, Hopefully you can help me to convince us. So, Yvette, look, we're not going to go into too much detail, but I just, this show is important because this podcast, we're talking to a lot of homeowners who are kind of in the same situation as you. And you know how it is. They're being bombarded by people who are calling them, promising them the star, the moon, and the sun, and everything else.
Of course.
And we kind of try and want to get some of our clients' stories out there so that people know who they're dealing with when they deal with us.
Right.
I think it's important, so that's why I'm glad that you joined us today, so we could talk just a little bit about, we won't go into too many details, but just talk a little bit about your situation, if that's okay. Well, Dave, your husband, right? He called in on one of our advertisements, and he wanted to sell his house. And we talked to him about it, and we had an initial conversation about Max Out, about how the program worked and how we could work together and what would be kind of what he was looking to do. And unfortunately, and it's okay to mention it, at the time they were going through a separation. They were going through divorce, but a great divorce. I mean, I shouldn't say great divorce. I guess no divorce is great, but they were very friendly
amicable.
Very friendly with each other.
Very amicable.
They had a house in Levittown with their son was living there. Great kid, post worker, like one of these hardworking kids, worked for a post office. So anyways, so what wound up happening was we spoke to Dave first, and we said, look, we need to be able to come down and look at the house.
Right. Do an evaluation
and see what's what. And he said, well, you're going to have to come when my wife is there. So I figured, all right, well, if he's going to bring his wife, I'm going to bring my wife. So I brought Mindy down.
And I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did too.
Yeah, Mindy's great.
I brought Mindy down. I brought Mindy down with me, and lo and behold, we got to meet Dave, and we got to meet Yvette. And we sat down and just kind of talked about their situation. And, they were getting in the middle of a divorce, and their son was living in the house. And there were certain things that were just important to them. It wasn't, they needed to get a certain amount of money out of the house, no matter what. And that was one thing that was important. But the other thing was the timing of the whole thing. Yvette, she loves her son to pieces, literally. Am I right about that?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And they needed to sell the house, and they needed to get the money so that they could move on. Respectively, and they were both actually relocating to Florida, and her husband's a wonderful guy too, but they were relocating to their own places in Florida separately, but their son wasn't ready to move yet.
Right, so he needed some time.
So he needed some time to be able to move out of the house, and at the same time it was like the holidays, and it was just, there was a lot of moving pieces to be able to make it happen. It was happening, like I said, right around the holidays. They were getting divorced. They were both moving to separate locations. They both needed money for different reasons to cash out of the house. And so, we had quite a few meetings with them. I mean, I think we met at least 2 or 3 times at the house to sit down, to figure out a creative way to be able to structure it. And I think in the end, it worked out great. What do you think?
I think so too. I think if you don't mind me just joining in, I just have to say that when I met Mike and Mindy, it was like I had known them for a long time, and they had such a natural aura, such a gentle way about themselves, so genuine. They made me feel very comfortable. It was no scam. And I was very skeptical about it at first because many people, Mike is right, there were people that were contacting us. And when you're new to that situation, you're not sure who to trust. And you're very vulnerable to scammers. But I have to say, I would definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, with my eyes closed, I would say go in there, walk in there, and just don't hesitate to just give your trust to these wonderful people because they became like family to me.
Oh, thank you.
I felt very comfortable with them, and yes, and until this day, I stay in touch with Mindy. She's a beautiful, awesome girl, and so is Mike. He's an awesome guy, and they're just gonna make you feel right at home.